Here's the presentation for assessment 3. It's presented by Group B T18, and the team member is
I'm Benjamin Go. 함종泽장.
Li Jiawei.
Endoteru.
On la suite au courrier.
And here's the introduction. The company is SolarTech Components. The presentation objective is to evaluate SolarTech's financial sustainability and ethical responsibility after implementing ESG compliance measures, and also to analyze whether SolarTech can remain profit and sustainability while meeting its ESG challenges. SolarTech is a medium-sized Malaysian company and is based in Penang and is making solar panel components for export. In recent years, its yearly revenue was around 25 million ringgit, and it is a growing supplier in the renewable energy sector. Despite its growth, profits have been low due to high production costs.
I'm Endoteru, and I will describe about break-even and cost volume profit calculation for SolarTech. This analysis will help us understand how the company profitability changed before and after implementing ESG compliance measures. Before implementing ESG measures, SolarTech had fixed costs of 7 million ringgit and variable costs of 10 ringgit per unit, selling price of 15 ringgit per unit, and average annual sales volume of 2 million units. Using the break-even formula, fixed cost divided by contribution margin, that is 7 million divided by 15 minus 10, gives 1.4 million units. This means SolarTech must sell at least 1.4 million units to cover all its costs. The current sales volume is 2 million units, so the company exceeds to the break-even point by 600,000 units. The margin of safety is 30%, showing a comfortable cushion before losses occur. After implementing ESG measures, SolarTech fixed costs increased by 2 million ringgit, including 1.4 million ringgit for solar and efficiency upgrades and 0.6 million ringgit for diversity in inclusion programs. The total fixed cost become 2 million ringgit. The break-even point now equals 9 million divided by 15 minus 10, which is 1.8 million unit. The margin of safety decreases to only 10%. This shows that the company risk of losses is higher. Any decline in sales could result in losses. SolarTech must now operate more efficiently or adjust its strategy to remain profitable. Next, let's move on to the cost volume profit analysis. The formula is profit equals selling price minus variable costs multiplied by sales volume minus fixed costs. Before ESG, profit was 15 million minus 10 times 2 million minus 7 million equals 3 million ringgit. After ESG, profit decreases to 1 million ringgit because of the higher fixed costs. In scenario A, SolarTech increases its selling price by 0.4 ringgit per unit. The contribution margin becomes 5.4 ringgit and profit increases to 1.8 million ringgit. The break-even point falls to 1,666,667 units, improving the margin of safety from 10% to 16.7%. In scenario B, SolarTech increases the sales volume by 12% with no price change. Sales rise to 2.24 million units. Profit increases to 2.2 million ringgit, and it is a higher amount among all scenarios. The margin of safety also improves to 19.6%. And now I'll pass to Zonze for the analysis part.
Now I will talk about the CVP strategy comparison and see which recovery option is more suitable for SolarTech after adopting the ESG measures. As shown on this slide, after these measures were adopted, SolarTech's profit fell from 3 million ringgit to 1 million ringgit because fixed costs increased by 2 million ringgit. To recover profitability, two strategies were considered. Scenario A, raising the selling price by 40 cents per unit, and Scenario B, increasing sales volume by 12%. In Scenario A, profit rises to 1.8 million ringgit with the break-even point reduced to 1.67 million units and a margin of safety of 16.7%. This slightly improves profitability, but could make the company less competitive, especially in export markets, since customers may see the price rise as passing ESG costs to them. In Scenario B, if SolarTech boosts sales by 12%, profit increases to 2.2 million ringgit, the highest among all cases, and the margin of safety improves to almost 20%. However, this requires greater production capacity, more labor, and extra marketing, which may raise short-term costs and energy use. Now moving on the next slide, let's look at a quick comparison between the two strategies. Overall, Scenario A offers moderate profit with less operational stress but higher market risk, while Scenario B gives higher returns but also higher cost pressure. A balanced approach is recommended. A small price increase combined with gradual sales expansion after efficiency upgrades are completed. This ensures financial stability while supporting SolarTech's long-term ESG goals. That's all from me.
So as shown in the table, cash receipt increased gradually over the 3 years while operating payments dropped after the heavy spending in 2025. This led to a net cash flow that started negative at 3.4 million ringgit in 2025, then turns positive to 750,000 in 2026 and 1.19 million in 2027. In other words, 2025 is a deficit year due to major ESG investment, but the company recovers and achieves surplus in the following years. Here we can see the overall trends more clearly. In 2025, SolarTech faced a cash shortage caused by large upfront costs for solar panel installations, machinery upgrades, and diversity programs. In 2026, recovery begins as customer confidence improves and one-off ESG expenses declines, resulting in a small surplus. By 2027, SolarTech enjoys stronger cash inflow from new contract and cost savings, showing long-term financial viability. This transition demonstrates that while ESG initiates pressure liquidity, it builds a foundation sustainable growth. To manage the 2025 shortfall, SolarTech can adopt several strategies. First, obtains short-term financing such as bank loans or overdraft to cover the temporary deficits. Second, negotiate longer payment terms with suppliers or delay non-critical capital expenses. Third, phase out ESG investment gradually instead of doing everything at once. And finally, use the surplus from 2026 and 2027 to build a reserve and strengthen long-term liquidities. This action ensures SolarTech can maintain its ESG goals while keeping a healthy cash positions. And next.
So I will be discussing the ethical and financial challenges faced by SolarTech Components, a company caught between doing what is right and maintaining financial stability. This case illustrates the complex relationship between corporate responsibility and financial sustainability in modern organizations. Although SolarTech operates within the renewable energy sector, Several of its practices reveal inconsistencies between its stated ethical values and its actual operations. The first concern relates to the company's environmental integrity. While Solartech manufactures components for solar panels, it remains dependent on electricity generated from coal-based sources. This contradiction undermines the company's moral authenticity as it advocates for sustainable energy, yet contributes to carbon emissions through its own production processes. Ethically, an organization's actions should align with the values it promotes, especially when its core business is tied to the environmental sustainability. The second issue concerns organizational inclusivity. Solartech's workforce remains heavily male-dominated with female representation in senior positions. I think we should move to the next slide. I'll start this paragraph again. You can edit it out later. The second issue concerns organizational inclusivity. Solartech's workforce remains heavily male-dominated with limited female representation in senior positions. This imbalance reflects a lack of equity and inclusiveness in the company's culture and policies. Beyond being an ethical issue, the absence of diversity also restricts innovation and reduces the quality of decision-making. While ethical reform may initially involve significant financial outlays, such as investing in clean energy systems or implementing diversity initiatives, these costs should be regarded as strategic investments rather than liabilities. Ethical business practices often produce tangible advantages, such as they enhance efficiency, strengthen employee morale, or attract investors who prioritize integrity or transparency. To achieve a balance between ethical duty and financial stability, Solartech should adopt values-driven strategy guided by environmental, social, and governance, also known as the ESG principles. Incremental implementation supported by green financing or government incentives would allow the company to remain financially viable while demonstrating genuine progress. Initiatives such as mentorship programs, leadership development for women, and measurable diversity targets could further embed inclusivity within its corporate culture. Ultimately, Solartech's leadership must determine whether to prioritize immediate profit or long-term ethical integrity. Such true sustainability requires both moral and strategic foresight. By aligning its operations with ethical principles, Solartech can restore public trust, reinforce its corporate reputation, and position itself as a responsible leader in the renewable energy sector. Thank you.
So in conclusion, ESG initiatives increase fixed cost by 2 million ringgit, raising the break-even point from 1.4 million to 1.8 million units. Despite higher costs, Solartech remains financially viable with proper strategy adjustments. And for cash flow outlook, it has liquidity pressure in 2025, but it recovers after ESG investments start paying off. And for ethical perspective, some measures can be used in it, like reduce reliance on coal-based power and improve workplace diversity or strategic investments. That's all. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.